terrorism related charges without reading out the written law under which the court is trying that person. Okay, so the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, Section 36. I mean, I'm sure that is very familiar to everyone now. It provides that a person shall not be convicted of a criminal offense unless the offense is defined and the penalty prescribed as in a written law. So what Omotosho has done today is a written script for him to read out. Everyone could hear him, everyone could see that he was reading a script handed over to him, and that he could barely read out some of the words in his own very written judgment. How interesting. How interesting. I've had to quickly tweet and post the travesty of justice today regarding how Omotosho ignored the Constitution's requirement that no one can be convicted under an unwritten or unknown offense. He forced Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to take a plea under a repealed law, which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu refused. So show me where it is written before I can enter into a defense, and that never happened. Omotosho refused blatantly, flagrantly, to issue written rulings on serious applications. So you could hear him reading, you could hear him counting thousands of lines, of hours of account. But then he refused to issue a written ruling, which he ought to have done first, but never did. He told Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to put all objections in a final address, then block the final address. So if you were Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you will be as outraged as Mazi was this afternoon. You cannot ask me to put my final address, put it down, write it down, and then you block it. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has right, is his right, to put a final address down, to write it down. But Omotosho blocked that and decided to read out those nonsense he called count. And he refused to, first of all, decide whether he even had the power to try the case. We kept talking about jurisdiction. I have always talked about jurisdiction. Nigeria government has no right to try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He who comes to law must come with equity, or he who comes to equity must come with clean hands, rather, excuse me. So it's also in the spirit. If I'm going somewhere to lay a complaint about someone, I ought not to have done something, rather lay a complaint first. So Nigerian government decided to take Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, They kidnapped him, tortured him. After 8 days, they brought him to Nigeria, and then decided to try him under a repealed law, which we have refused. So a few gaps there where we should have stood on our discharge and acquitted and stood by it. Regardless, that would be revisited, and we are going to appeal. Of course, we are not going to sit down and fold our arms for Nigerian government to deliver something that they have planned, a verdict that they have written years before now. We won this case. They were not happy about it. They went to Supreme Court, even though the Supreme Court messed around with the whole judgment. But they did say to them, you are trying him on a wrong law, change it. Nigeria never changed it. Where is the treasonable felony gone? Where is the location of the crime? Where is the location of the crime? Did Omotosho mention it? No. One of the reasons I came on live is to point at just one single point or one single loophole. Omotosho cannot give a verdict on an evidence that was not inclusive in the previous, or the evidence tendered in court. Everyone keeps shouting, oh, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, burn down this, kill the policemen. What were the policemen doing? Policemen were shooting protesters who were unarmed. But that aside, did any person come to court? Was there a witness in court who came in to say, I committed this crime? Or was there a person that the police or the DSS or the Nigerian government brought into the court and said, this person committed this crime because Nnamdi Kanu incited them? None whatsoever. So in Omotosho's verdict, he was counting everything, and he counted about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wanting the British embassy to be burnt down and Katrina Lang murdered. How on earth? How is that? So you see, when I say that the Nigerian government and all their nonsense is of kakistocratic nature, it is not a joke. It is not a joke. So with all the maxed people in the court who kept saying, I'm unaware, I don't know, this is where Nigerian government wants to go. This is where they want to go to. Oh, life imprisonment. He would have mentioned death sentence then. Why didn't he mention it? He should have said death sentence. The thing is, we're not here to make any noise, but to continue to tell our people that this is an orchestrated pattern. We know the hands behind this. The British government being brought into this very case in order to say, oh, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is international. Take this point, international terrorist. They are stupid. You know, this is the kind of person who would be in an examination hall. They would give him copied whatever, and he would copy both the person, his matriculation number, and the person who gave him a note to copy from. He would copy everything. So even though you can see that Omotosho was reading a script handed over to him just this morning or last night, he was just coming to court to read it out, not to analyze anything, not to actually pass judgment. It is right there before. They think Trump is not intelligent. Is that what they think? They think the American government is as kakistocratic as they are? No. For them to rise and say that there is Christian genocide in Nigeria, it means that they have done their work. They have all the evidence. So these scripts, when someone gives you a script to read, you have to act the part. These people are so kakistocratic, they cannot even act a script. Omotosho could barely read out the verdict. He didn't know the words. They were handed over to him, and he was reading something that was never ever mentioned in the court. You cannot pass a judgment based on excluded evidence. You cannot just by yourself put in something that you feel you need to add to pass judgment on an innocent man. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist. There are terrorists running around in Omotosho's village. Is it Eruka? They recently attacked location by ISWAP. We have one of our brothers who was just murdered 2 days ago by the same ISWAP. How many of them have they convicted? None whatsoever. None. But it is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is right before his eyes. They're running around. You can't. When he said to you, you cannot. You cannot, because you have no evidence of, no shred, or no proof, no shred at all. Excuse me. I'm just too tired. There's no shred of evidence, no shred of proof. So this is a written script. They have interpreted it the way they have chosen, but we will fight it. I got here, I got a bit of I got here. Hama, they don't know what they are in for. They are angry that Mazen Kanu is courageous. You can see that bit they keep talking about this. You cannot convict a man who is innocent. You have no proof whatsoever. So this script they are tagging, you're using somebody who has killed Igbo people. You're using, all of a sudden you're raising his face that he's a pro-Biafran. That boy in Finland is not a pro-Biafran activist or anything. So these are all propagandas. I want our people to understand how the government operates, how they work. And there are some certain information that we will not be able to release out here in the public. But no, begin to reason deeper than you do to be able to understand how governments operate. There's something I wrote in the past. There is narcissism in the world, but then there's also narcissism in government, how they operate, especially the Nigerian government, where they have a problem with influence. You can imagine a foreign minister right there in front of the whole world, saying that he does not have enough, or he didn't have enough data of number of Christians killed in Nigeria. And the point is it about Christians being killed, or is it about Muslims being killed? What is the point? Or is it about the human lives being wasted every single day in this country? Innocent lives, children who should be protected, guarded, and safeguarded with everything possible in life. They have no idea what to do with human life. So terrorists are in their villages, burning down places, kidnapping people, killing people, and all of a sudden they want to tell it that, oh, it is IPOB who are now killing people. They should know that the world is USA is much more intelligent than they are. Look at the country that wants to be included in the United Nations Security Council. How can you be in a Security Council when you cannot safeguard tiny bit of life like this? The newly born baby's life. You can't safeguard it. And that is what Mazen Kanu speaks about. And that is why they're upset.
Wonderful people. Do not be surprised though about the headline, because I say if you connect the dots together, you find out that everybody who is speaking now on the issue of Mazen Kanu in one way or the other are against him. Don't get it twisted, and don't bring up the argument. Nobody should support that the woman is emotionally traumatized or whatever. A woman who visited Mazen Kanu once when and Ifeanyi Ubah was alive, and a lot of people have their own opinion over that visit, and that visit was sponsored by Ifeanyi Ubah. It's only her that will say the relationship between the duo. That is all I can say for now. I don't want to intrude into her matter because it is not none of my business. So, but the headline, I know it will trigger some people to say, why are you using propaganda? It's not the propaganda. I want you to watch the video of what she said, and I also want to leave the judgment, let it be on our people. There's an article here. Enough of your theatrics. Nnamdi Kanu's wife forms after husband's transfer to Sokoto prison. But the question we need to ask ourselves: what is Nnamdi Kanu doing in Sokoto prison? So they send Mazen Kanu to a place whereby no any family member is going to visit him. There's no any even his lawyers, because for lawyers of Mazen Kanu going to Sokoto to visit him maybe twice in a week, you know how much of the cost, and they can never go by land. They have to flee because of insecurity. What kind of game are these people playing? And we have people at the home of their fears who keep on giving us nonsense hopes. Nnamdi Kanu are going to resolve everything. Thunder will fire Benjamin Kalu. Thunder will fire Bianca Ono. Thunder will fire what do they call him? Chukwumacha Soludo. In fact, all the whole politicians in the southeast, both the billionaires who, millionaires who, in fact, the ones who are still crawling, who stood against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Now Thunder go fire all of them. In fact, if I survive 2026, make I know waiting cause. The gods of our land, enough of all these patients. Arise and begin to fight all these idiots. We have taken enough from them. Anyway, let me read the article, then we'll come back here for more discussion, I beg. I don't want to talk too much. I don't even want to get provoked. The wife of the convicted leader of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, Ogechi, sorry, not Ogechi, UCHECHI is her name, has expressed displeasure at those who broke the law. The news of her husband transferred to Sokoto prison without her knowledge. Nigeria News record that Kanu was on Thursday sentenced to life imprisonment by the Federal High Court in Abuja after Injustice James Omotosho found him guilty on all 7 counts of terrorism and related offences. While delivering judgment, Injustice Omotosho ruled that Kanu must be kept in a protected custodial center and declared the Kuje Correctional Center unstable due to previous prison breaks and heightened security risks. On Friday, Kanu's lawyer, Aloye Jimako, said his client had been moved to Sokoto, a development has described as worrying. However, in a post via X, Uchechi warned the legal team to behave in a civilized and professional manner. She wrote, "Information reaching me about 3 hours ago is that my husband has arrived Sokoto prison. Those who went to see him today did not give me any update on his transfer. Instead, they ran to social media to broadcast it. If you all do not sit up and behave in a civilized and professional manner, I will stress you with my stress, and I promise you, you will be stressed. Enough of your tactics, be warned." So you are concerned about Nnamdi Kanu, your husband, who have been in detention for good 4 years, and you are living in UK, living lavishly, enjoying your life, doing a megremon when it suits you, and your husband is languishing in DSS solitary confinement. You couldn't even find time from UK. Anybody who is living in UK can come today and go back tomorrow. Even if you wake up in the morning and say, okay, you buy your ticket, you come today, and that same ticket, that same flight will still carry you go back. That is UK for you. How many hours is UK? We have 24 hours. I am very sure from Nigeria to UK, I've never traveled there. Or maybe it will not be more than 6 hours. Going and 6 hours coming back. Let me just, please, permit me to do this research because I haven't done that before. Flight from UK to Nigeria. To Nigeria. To Nigeria is how many hours? Okay, let me see. A non-stop flight from the UK to Nigeria takes about 6.5 hours. This is typical the duration for direct flight from London to major Nigerian cities like Lagos or Abuja. 6.5 hours, that is 13 hours. Assuming, okay, you come and you have already booked appointment with the lawyer that will tell you on the day Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, on the day that he been permitted for his visit, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You arrived in the morning, check out, because you are flying direct to Abuja. Then the taxi will carry you direct to DSS and you meet with the lawyers there. After some hours, you are going to flew back that day. If you are working one day, you take permission from your work and know anybody who is in UK, even where you are working, UCHECHI, I'm talking to you, that do not know that your husband is being detained in DSS. And when you take permission from your work, they will also grant you that audience and you travel. You couldn't do that unless if you have to loot you from there to here, just behind Nigeria, according to what I heard, alleged. So let nobody say, I am traumatizing her. No, please. I have never said anything like that. But alleged that all the Nigeria men make them more with a Uba and flew back. Let you find Uba. Whether not true, whether not be true, that one concern them. It is none of my business. So now you are telling the lawyers now to give you that information where they don't even show any care, any concern about your husband. And you tell them they should stop the theatrics of a game they are playing. UCHECHI, make I know cause you, but you are a disgrace to womanhood. You are a disgrace to become a wife of a man. No anybody see any seriousness. I'm following you on X. The only thing you keep posting is videos of people that make. I never see you make any single video. On your own, just make a video and post on your own X handle where you have over 33,000 followers. And cry out that this injustice is too much. No, you didn't do that. Okay, maybe you are crying in silence. But anyway, that is your own cup of tea. It is none of my business. But what concerns me now is that MNK Kanu have been sentenced. Everybody who is lying with the head of Mazen MNK Kanu, everything have been put to rest. Abi, then let us for their head. As simple as that. But let me ask you, to the zoo government who sent him to Kuje and said that is where he is safe. They sent him to Kuje. I mean, who sent him to Sokoto, not Kuje? Say he is safe there in Sokoto. You people should not forget Sokoto, Lekwe Sahel. And those are the places Mazen MNK Kanu have called their name many times. Janjaweed. So they send him there so that they will buy Mazen MNK Kanu. No problem now. I trust Mazen MNK Kanu. If 95% of people who are in a DSS prison could love him, then he will also make a way there. A leader is a leader, no matter how you take it. Anywhere you see him, anywhere you found a leader is a leader. He will convert all of them to become his followers. That is the gift Mazen MNK Kanu have, and I am very, very proud of him on that. He was a Yoruba man who hated him. Sorry, a Fulani man who hated him by Isa Atiku, the Nance president, National Association of Nigerian Students, Abi. He said he hated Mazen MNK Kanu. He thought he's a very wicked human being. But when he get interaction with Mazen MNK Kanu, on that space of 2 months, he become Mazen MNK Kanu's disciple. My God have mercy. One day forget, a leader is a leader. The same thing happened to what I call him, Nelson Mandela. When Nelson Mandela was in prison, every other person, even including people who they have brainwashed that the reason why they have been in prison is because of Mandela. But when he get there, he opened the chapter of everybody, opened their brain and stuck their brains with something meaningful. And that was why he be able to convert all of them. Even when they are planning, if they bring him here, we are going to kill him. All of them became his disciples. For the 27 or 28 or 29 or 30 years he's been in jail, he is the commander-in-chief of everything there. Anyway, my people, now here we'll take a break. Don't forget, now weekend we day. Bang bang din dem. If you are drinking, please don't drive. If you are driving, don't drink. If you are drunk, my brother, find a place to lay your head. Makada mama, life don't get duplicated. You want today, my brother, Keraga now, you will forget the sorrows of this life and also the enjoyment that accompanies it. Always go no wa. This life, I go bona de madu. Man only put say nwa bia nwo ya so ngene nwo ga ebe. Man I already kwa na go egbo na ya. My brother, life is sweet, what we don't understand is that is there life after this life? Is there another life after this life? Because as on one ke ya Ghana, some people never want for na gare kwa. Anyway, what do I know? What is it? My people, please help me to circulate this video as much as you can, and make sure you share, you like, you comment. Most especially, follow us on all of our social media handles: Facebook, TikTok, IG, X, and also the pata of them on YouTube. Subscribe, and as you do that, may God Almighty continue to bless you and prosper you. It shall be well with all of us. Ka Chineke mezie okwu.